List. Okay. I know, Engineer Nuruddeen, from the last time we spoke, that you're not exactly a fan of other non-state actors coming in on our security as it relates to these national assets. You were critical of it last time, saying that we have the resources. So what is going on? Why are things such that Tantita, for example, you know, it is still featuring prominently? I know that is not necessarily anything against Tantita. Excuse me. But let me ask, give me your appraisal of efforts in this direction, this renewed onslaught against oil theft, crude oil thefts.
Thank you very much, Uncle Yori. You know, I would like to make it clear because my last statement about the Tantita is not in denial of the help Tantita provides to the security architecture. But I am of the concern that the Nigerian government invests so much heavily on our security apparatus. Hence, the needs for them to do what is right and not to hand over the entire security activities to Tantita. Tantita being managed by previous militants or warlords, you know, now that they have repented and wants to be part of the development of the country, you know, and the country has also done so much to address some of the issues in the Niger Delta, I'm sure they have the native intelligence, they have the societal, you know, support of their people to partner with these security architectures in seeing that they address some of the issues in the general area, because whatever information they bring has to be a first-hand information that will help the security architecture in performing or discharging their duties. However, my concern is handing the entire situation to Tantita, you know, is indirectly saying the much more the Nigerian government invests on the security architecture is in vain and our security apparatus is not effective. And this is not good for a country of estimately 300 million people in population. And it is not good for the security at large. Oh, but again,
yes, I understand. Sorry to interrupt you. I understand exactly the way you have explained it. I understand. But the part where I doubt, very much doubt, if the entire duty has been handed over to a private concern. Surely it's a matter of collaboration, and you used the word, I believe, just now. It's a matter of partnering with, bringing to it what they can. After all, they were responsible for the arresting of, the name escapes me now, but a craft, a vessel laden with stolen crude oil. And our defense chiefs, the managing director, the NNPC bigwigs, everybody was there to both inspect and interrogate some of those crews. All of this only recently. So yes, I understood you the first time, and I understood you again this morning when you made the clarification that what you're against is the handing over of the entire security operation. I don't think you are in a better position as a consultant yourself. I don't think our security people would do that or are doing that.
No, I want you to understand the Nigerian people will have to understand where we missed it, Uncle Yori. We missed it long ago. If you look at oil discovery in Nigeria, 1956, almost 70 years today, late 70s down to early 80s, oil bunkering, oil theft started in the Niger Delta. And this was the military era of General Obasanjo and late General Murtala Mohammed, down to the Second Republic, which was Shagari's era. Now, if you look at this period that the oil theft started in the Niger Delta, what happened when we embrace democracy that most Nigerians today, especially the youth, will be looking at is the Fourth Republic. And the same General Obasanjo, who has the experience of oil theft, perhaps during his era, was the first president in the Fifth Republic, 1999. And what did he do? If you look at the first achievement, one of the first achievements of President Obasanjo's time in 1999 was the establishment of the Niger Delta Development Commission. And this commission was established in 2000, Uncle Yori. Nigerians need to be abreast of all these facts so that we know where we are getting it wrong. Immediately when the NDDC was established, what happened? They were saddled with the responsibility of educating and training, the youths, which are the majority, in terms of demography in the Niger Delta, so that they will engage these youths and consequently they will do away with these dirty acts of vandalizing pipelines, oil theft, and that will allow the federal government maximize production and in turn help our economy. But how many years today down the line, Uncle Yori? 24 years is what we are talking about. 24 years. And monies that were invested in NDDC is getting to 10 trillion naira, according to records. And immediately, when late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua took over, he complemented that effort of President Obasanjo by establishing the Ministry of Niger Delta. We should complement the NDDC by bringing about infrastructural gap development, environmental protection, and still the NDDC does its job as a subsidiary under the ministry. But what did we see? Again, Niger Delta Amnesty was also established. These are very solid three organizations that should have worked together, provide employment, complement the effort of the state governors, and address most of these pressing issues. And let me tell you, if you look statistically, Uncle Yori, Nigerians, we should be abreast, like I said, with all this information. It's good for us knowing where we are, where we come from, and how we go forward. Because population in the Niger Delta is about 30 to 35 million today. And the teeming youth population is about 60 to 65%. And if you take that into record, you have about 20 million. And if you look at the investment that the federal government has made so far from 1999 to date, ordinarily, if we had done justice to this, no youth in Niger Delta should have been idle, because they should have been trained adequately in all facets of life. They should have been employed in one way or the other. And by today, they will be useful to the society. But because we missed it with leadership, we missed it with using the right people to steer the activities of those organizations, today, 24 years later, we are still running back to the federal government complaining about oil theft. And this is just one aspect of it. We need to look at the people of the Niger Delta. I sympathize so much with their condition, because I cannot pinpoint a particular country in the whole world where oil was discovered side by side. Bayelsa, where oil was discovered, is in Nigeria. Today, almost 70 years, and the region is as undeveloped, like the Niger Delta. That is wrong. It's unacceptable. We need to do so much about it. But internally, we need to question our leaders. We need to hold them to account, because me and you, just of recent, we know what happened. Because of accountability, we saw leaders of the NDDC and even in the ministry fainting in the national media because they could not bring to account the expenditure or misappropriation of the funds allotted to the Niger Delta Development Commission. So what I'm saying, in essence, this is one way. And how can that be addressed? The president needs to bring his renewed hope strategy onto these organizations to bear. Right people should be used on board, irrespective of their party affiliations. I'm sure today, if they had used a competent person in the Niger Delta to have set a very good pace, by now we will be talking about even bringing people from other regions to come and train, because we have exhausted training youths and engaging them in one way or the other in our Nigerian economy from the Niger Delta. Not to be struggling with the same youths, because if you look at how many old people go to the creeks to vandalize our pipelines or steal oil, engage in oil theft? How many? It's the youths that are doing it. And why do they do that, Uncle Yori? There is nothing to do. And an idle mind, you know, like we said, is the devil basket. So we need, this is just one way. When you give me another time, I will explain to you my concern about the security aspect of it, which is also very, very important. And we need to understand this is one way. So if I were the president, to address this issue of oil theft, I don't even need a gun to start with. I just need the re-engagement of the traditional institutions, the youth, you know, and then this organization, I will have to make sure they do their functions as mandated or enshrined in the act that establishes them. Not that they convert it to a money-making venture for the elites that seek to undermine those areas. That is just what the president should be doing, and it is good for the people of Niger Delta. It will be good for our economy.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Engineer Nuruddeen, because you've actually, towards the end of that, you sort of, you're astride of where I was going to go. Some of the things you said, because I was going to ask you what your assessment is of the efforts of this administration. Clearly, you have established that we missed it, that we have missed it, and it's not been in recent times. So, and if you were to ask observers, watchers of the scenario, of this situation, experts, security experts, naval experts, and all of that, I guess some of them, depending on where they happen to be camped, quote unquote, would say that, well, the administration is doing all that it can. It's doing the best that it can, which would have led me to say, consider that idea and tell me your impression. Because here we are talking about a renewed onslaught against oil theft. So it's not as if we've given up. You've just been speaking about personnel, for instance, is very, very, very important. The right round pegs and round holes and all of that. Are those the areas where you have your concerns that no matter the assets we throw at it, how about the personnel? How about the expertise? Is that where your concern is for us not having the results you so clearly would have wished that we have had so far?
Uncle Yodi, I want you to understand, and Nigerians, yes, the issues of security, like we always agree, that will not be discussed in isolation. And if we come back to the security aspect of it in totality, having addressed having looked at what I said earlier, I believe you me, today, if you look at the military, if you look at other critical, players in the industry, there is a conflict of interest. There's a conflict of interest because you get to see duplication of roles. You get to see conflict in the manner we handle our responsibilities. No two ways about it. The Nigerian Navy is a lead. It's a lead in the industry. Whatever you are going to do in the maritime sector, as it concerns maritime security, no matter how strong the organization is, the Navy will naturally take a lead. But today, what happened? You get to see a lot of duplication of responsibility. The NIMASA are doing their best, but they should understand that they can never be, a combat arm of the maritime sector to fight this. They need, I'm sure they are doing their best in collaboration with the Navy. And also the NSCDC, who are in charge of the critical asset security. But again, we need this synergy. We need this understanding, which has to be, highlighted clearly by the federal government, that these are the roles of all these players, and there should not be conflict, because this conflict is affecting the responsibility. It's affecting the result we are seeing today. Now, let me go straight to the